Good day, everybody. This is Lewie. I'm on my way to work, but I wanted to discuss something with you, and it's more of an extension of what I was discussing with somebody at work earlier today when they got stuck doing a double. We were talking about what could possibly happen if Biden got impeached, and I told him, be careful what you wish for. And he asked me what I meant. So, right before we got interrupted, I started with this story. Never did get to finish it. So I'm going to finish the story with you now. And you'll understand what I mean. The story goes, these two young men, we're talking like, 18, 20, were driving down the road racing. Now, up until that point, they had lived very good lives. They were honest, they were top-notch individuals up until this point. Well, they crashed and they died and they went to heaven. And guy comes over because he sees them moping. And guy comes over and he says, listen, boys, he says, consider yourselves fortunate. You got to heaven at such a young age. You didn't have it to make up for anything. And they complained about the fact that they died too young. There was things they wanted to do they didn't get to do. God says, I'll tell you what. He says, you tell me what it is you want to do, and I'll arrange for you to go back for 1 week to do it. The first one says, well, I always wanted to fly. I never got to fly. I've always wanted to fly. And God says, it is done. And he sends them back to earth for a week. Second one, he's kind of toeing the ground, a little shy, a little embarrassed. God says, so what is it that you would like to do? He says, well, he says, I don't know. He says, I don't know if and God says, no, tell me what it is you'd like to do, and I will make sure it'll be done. The guy says, well, I was never much of a ladies' man, he says, so I always thought maybe I should, I was thinking maybe I could be a stud. And Lord says, it is done. He sends him back. A week later, God calls St. Peter. He says, St. Peter, he says, remember them two young men that we had here last week? Peter's like, yeah, I remember. He says, well, it's time to bring them back. So Peter says, where do I find them? And the Lord says, well, the first one is an eagle flying over the Grand Canyon as we speak. Peter says, okay, and the other? He says, well, he's a 2x4 in a wall down in southern Georgia. Be careful what you wish for. And the whole point I'm trying to make is, Joe Biden gets impeached. Kamala Harris is next in line. She will get to pick her own vice president, and then the House will have to vote for that vice president. And I have a feeling she'll pick Nancy Pelosi. You see what I'm saying? And with Nancy Pelosi being the Speaker of the House, she's liable to be voted in. We don't need those two running our country. So be careful what you wish for. It may come true, and it'll make things a whole lot worse. I'm not saying I like Biden, but the only way to get rid of Biden without making things worse is to vote him out. All right, we'll talk to you later.